a Napa startup that uses AI to analyze images of the vines. The app lets vineyards know what they can expect to harvest and can warn them of potential devastating disease.
So AI can go through millions and millions of photos and zero in on the areas that require human attention. In some ways, we say we're like an X-ray for the vineyard. We're like a blood test for the vineyard.
Back on Gamble Estates, owner Tom Gamble's strategy to harness the new technology is to support his employees, not replace them as they cultivate future crops. Nick Zechevich, CBS News.
This is Kcal News, Los Angeles.
Don't take Tylenol.
Now at 9, President Trump's dire warning for pregnant women and why some medical experts believe it's dangerous.
Plus, celebrating a new year with heightened security, how LAPD is ensuring the Jewish community is safe during Rosh Hashanah.
And back on air. Well, kinda. ABC will bring Jimmy Kimmel back starting tomorrow night, but not every ABC station will carry his show.
But first, breaking news out of Westchester, where a car plowed into an Amazon Fresh store tonight, injuring a cashier. You can see in this Citizen video, the car is fully in the store.
Well, there's also plenty of glass on the ground and a bent handicap placard sign. We are told the elderly driver accidentally drove into the store. The cashier has minor injuries. The driver was not hurt. Good evening. I'm Pat Harvey.
I'm Rudabe Shabazi. President Trump is working to reverse decades of medical advice given to pregnant women. And tonight, the nation's top doctors are calling out his administration.
The disagreement is over the president's announcement today that the Food and Drug Administration would officially advise pregnant women not to take Tylenol. And Kcal News political reporter Tom Wade is here with more on a move that some medical experts are calling dangerous, Tom.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. We are hearing that pushback tonight, Pat and Rudabe. So the nation's leading experts, medical experts, are pushing back, as I said, saying today's announcement is not based on reliable data and will sow confusion and impact the health of millions of women.
Don't take Tylenol.
President Trump's emphatic advice to pregnant women, a statement that's at odds with decades of medical precedent.
The use of well, let's see how we say that. Acetaminophen. Is that okay? Which is basically commonly known as Tylenol. During pregnancy can be associated with a very increased risk of autism.
Trump's unfounded claim will now be official policy of the Food and Drug Administration. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who now runs the FDA, has spent years pushing unproven theories about what causes autism.
And we will be uncompromising and relentless in our search for answers. We will perform the studies that should have been performed 25 years ago.
Just last month, Trump's own Food and Drug Administration said it has not found clear evidence that appropriate use of acetaminophen during pregnancy causes birth or development issues. The American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists released a lengthy statement disputing the Trump administration's claims, saying in part, today's announcement by HHS is not backed by the full body of scientific evidence and dangerously simplifies the many and complex causes of neurologic challenges in children. It is highly unsettling that our federal health agencies are willing to make an announcement that will affect the health and well-being of millions of people without the backing of reliable data. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder.
Tylenol, acetaminophen, is safe in pregnancy. If you have a high fever during pregnancy, that can cause neurodevelopment issues in the baby. So you don't want to let that fever go untreated.
Right.
And, you know, pregnant women may have pain, and that's not something that should go untreated either.
It's so bizarre. I mean, I watched that when it happened, and to just sort of watch it again. The way that people are getting medical advice and probably getting very confused. There is a problem with having fevers when you're pregnant, potential problems with birth defects, with early labor, with miscarriage, with neurodevelopmental problems because of the fever. It's probably not a good idea to minimize, especially during the first trimester.
Trump has a history of giving dubious medical advice. During his first term, as COVID was ravaging the country, he promoted the use of ivermectin as a treatment for the coronavirus, which researchers said was an unproven remedy, and floated the idea of injecting disinfectant to kill the virus.
Supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light, right? And then I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning?
The parent company of Tylenol said in a statement that the drug is the safest pain reliever option for pregnant women. Ibuprofen and aspirin are already discouraged for pregnant women due to risks of miscarriage or birth defects. Pat?
Well, this is something that will be discussed for quite some time.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you so much, Tom. And new developments tonight in hopes of avoiding a government shutdown. CBS News sources say President Trump is expected to meet with Democratic leaders in Congress this week. Lawmakers have until the end of the month to come up with and pass a spending bill, or the government could shut down. Democratic leaders say they won't support a bill that does not address health care issues. Republicans say Democrats have no reason to oppose their bill because they claim it doesn't have controversial additions. Back on air, Jimmy Kimmel Live is returning to ABC.
But not on Sinclair-owned stations. ABC's parent company, Disney, said today, quote, "We felt some of the comments were ill-timed and thus insensitive. We have spent the last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, and after those conversations, we reached the decision to return the show on Tuesday." Sinclair, one of the country's biggest owners of local TV stations, said its ABC affiliates will not be airing the show.
I just got an email that said my tickets were canceled and we're sorry for any inconvenience.
He made an unnecessary comment about Charlie Kirk, not called for.
Production has been suspended since last Wednesday following comments the late-night host made about Charlie Kirk's suspected killer. Stay with Kcal News and kcalnews.com for the very latest on the Jimmy Kimmel situation.
Well, today the man accused of shooting into an ABC TV station in Sacramento appeared in court and didn't issue a plea. Annabelle Hernandez Santana faces 3 complaints of shooting in a school zone and interfering with a radio communication station. This happened a day after protests outside the station in response to Jimmy Kimmel's suspension. Police believe this was politically motivated and they will continue investigating.
As we continue to do our investigation and look at the facts and look at his motivation, and some of the things we're going through are his social media posts, we're going through his phones, we're going through all these other things, and as part of that process, we may evaluate and add additional charges.
Police say they also found handwritten notes in Santana's home referencing Jeffrey Epstein, FBI Director Kash Patel, and Attorney General Pam Bondi. And new tonight at 9, a Lancaster man agreeing to plead guilty in a case of unusual drug dealing.
Kcal News assignment editor Mike Rogers is at the desk with the allegations of this high-flying scheme. Mike?
Yeah, hey, Pat and Ruta Bay, the federal government alleges that this man, and the man that is now, by the way, pleaded guilty to the charges against him, used a drone in Lancaster to deliver drugs. And in one of those circumstances, the drugs that he delivered allegedly caused a woman's death. Now, here are some of the photos that we pulled out of the court documents from the federal government alleging that he used the drone to distribute $80 worth of fentanyl. Now, once they were able to recover the drone, they pretty much had a lot of the evidence that they needed. Look at this. This is video from the drone, or a picture from the video of the drone actually showing the drug deals. Now, according to court documents that I have reviewed, he would use the drone, fly it to a church parking lot, land it in the grass, and whoever was buying the drugs would then pick it up there from the drone. Here's one situation where a person buying the drugs is giving him a thumbs up. There you see it on the drone picture. Now, I want to show you the one delivery here that also caused this, or according to the federal government, caused this woman's death. A conversation between the suspect and between the person who was buying the drugs. Court documents say that when talking about the drugs, it said, quote, "You want to go to church and I'll fly it there with the drone." The person responded saying he was on his way, to which the suspect then responded, "Okay, I'll take off when I get there and I'll land in the grass, then just put the money in the rubber band." Again, those were text messages that were recovered by the Sheriff's Department as well as the federal government, who ultimately charged this man. He agreed to plead guilty to a lesser number of charges than he was originally scheduled to. He will face a judge for sentencing in February, where he could face up to 60 years in federal prison.
Wow, thank you, Mike.
Yep.
Now, the man accused of driving his car into a crowd of people in East Hollywood says he's not guilty. Fernando Ramirez entered that plea in court today, and he faces 37 counts of attempted murder after prosecutors say he intentionally plowed into a crowd outside a nightclub in July. They also say he has an extensive criminal history for several violent crimes in Orange County. If convicted, he faces life in prison.
No bail and a new court date for the man accused of murdering off-duty LA County Sheriff's Deputy Juan Escalante. Prosecutors claim Roberto Salazar and 5 others ambushed Escalante outside his parents' home in Cypress Park back in 2008. Salazar was arrested in Mexico earlier this year. His arraignment is now set for November 3rd. Heightened security here in Southern California for the first night of Rosh Hashanah.
And this comes as anti-Semitic attacks have risen in the U.S. since the Israel-Gaza war. Kcal's Lori Perez is live in Westwood tonight, where a service has just wrapped up. Lori?
That's right. Around the world and here at Sinai Temple, the faithful are marking the start of the holiday with high hopes and extra security. Sinai Temple on this Rosh Hashanah, a conservative synagogue with a modern approach.
We specifically brought an LA drumline because we are starting the new year with a new beat.
Heralding this Jewish New Year as hopefully the start of a more peaceful era. The theme of this year's services is Rhythm of Joy.
If we look outside our walls right now, we find increased polarization and division and brokenness, and some would say darkness in the world. We want to remind everyone, remind the community, the beauty and awe in finding the blessings of joy, that joy and despair can exist side by side.
Anti-Semitic attacks in the U.S. have spiked since the start of the Israel-Gaza war. Just today in Beverly Hills, the school district reported a swastika found in front of an elementary school. Security cameras appearing to catch the guy who left it. Last month, it was at least 8 swastikas on a grade school banner in Tarzana. The Anti-Defamation League's recent annual report on anti-Semitism found more than 9,000 incidents in the U.S. in 2024, the highest on record since 1978. The states with the highest levels of incidents were New York and California.
Hope for peace, less violence, no violence. What do you mean less violence? No violence in the world.
Beverly Hills Police, LAPD, and LASD have increased their patrols around synagogues, as they normally do. Private security firms like the nonprofit security team Magen Am are also on special alert. The team of volunteers and former Israeli military started in LA's predominantly Jewish neighborhoods a few years ago. They've now expanded to Orange County, San Diego, and across the country. A 24/7 armed response ready in case hateful words turn to acts.
I'm a rabbi, right? I'm not here to be G.I. Jew. I'm here because I want a peaceful, thriving community, and these days security is part of that. I say all the time, we don't fight out of hate, we fight out of love. We fight because we're here for our community and we love our families, and it's absolutely anything we can do to avoid fighting through presence and through deterrence, we will absolutely do.
Now, law enforcement is stressing they're increasing patrols, not because of any specific threats, but because they want to give reassurance to the large groups of Jewish people who are gathering. We are live in Westwood tonight. I'm Lori Perez. Back to you.
Thank you, Lori. Now, Governor Newsom signs legislation requiring federal aid